In this video, we're going to do a showdown between the Rockler SL Router Lift and the JessEm Rout-R Lift II.
So if you're looking into purchasing one of these, this video should help you out. We will throw the links in the description below on where you can buy both of them.
Starting in the blue corner, we've got the Rockler SL Router Lift, and I just think it looks really cool. The black and the blue, I really like that. I like that these insert rings are made out of aluminum. Also, these are really easy to adjust if you need to. And the Rockler SL Router Lift comes with one of the insert rings, and then you can also purchase the set of 5 additional ones separately. So this feature is awesome. To swap out the rings, you just press this button, boom, and the ring comes out, and then putting it back in, it just snaps into place. I'm very excited about this feature. I think it's really cool. So the top plate measures 8 1/4 inches by 11 3/4 inches by 3/8 inch thick, and comes with a manual worm gear that you just crank this to raise and lower the router itself. This plate does not come with the necessary pieces to level it out, so your tabletop will have to be equipped with levelers from underneath. So on the underside, you have the tensioner that holds the body of the router. Now, as you'll notice, these guideposts and the tensioner, it's all connected by one piece, which I'll actually refer back to that fact later on in the video. The lift raises high enough when you're changing bits that you don't need one of those special offset wrenches to do so. You can just do it right over the top. So this currently prices out at $279.99. And then I also purchased these extra 5 rings for an additional $89.99. Hey, if this has been helpful so far, go ahead and give it a like. And now it's time for our next contender.
Now in the red corner, we've got the JessEm Rout-R Lift II, and right away we could tell this router lift is created very thoughtfully. Included in the back here is 2 aluminum reinforcement plates that the Rockler does not have. The plate measures 9 1/4, 11 3/4, and it's 3/8 inch thick, so it's slightly larger than the Rockler. So the JessEm comes with 3 insert rings, but if you purchase it on Amazon like we did, you'll get a pack of 10 more rings included. So unlike the other router lift, this one includes 10 adjustable screws at the top of the plate, and they're all easily adjustable with the provided Allen wrench. So flipping it over, we will see that this router lift has an independent tensioning rod here. And what that does is it secures the router to the lift instead of pulling the lift around the router. Just like the other lift, the JessEm lifts the router high enough that you don't need a special wrench when changing bits. At the creation of this video, the JessEm Router Lift is $219.99. And that's if you purchase the lift alone. If you purchase the kit that includes the insert rings, it's going to cost you $259.99.
Remember earlier when I said I'd refer back to the design of the tensioner a little bit later? Because the guideposts are locked into this tensioning bracket, the alignment of the guideposts can change based on the actual thickness of the router itself. And when I purchased this, my goal was to put my DeWalt 611 trim router in it because it has a variable speed option. Through some lengthy back and forth with Rockler, I discovered that depending on the production date of your DeWalt 611 router, it will require a different collar than what it says on the website. However, that information is not readily available. It's buried down in the comments of the reviews if you're so inclined to go and hunt for it. I thought, well, I hate wasting time, so I'll just put my DeWalt 616 router in it. And I didn't really want to do that because it does not have the variable speed option. So on the little bit wider bits, it's going to be spinning dangerously fast. And thank God I've never been injured by any of the problems that creates. However, I have completely ruined some pieces that I was working on because that bit was just traveling at too high a speed. So as I was installing it, I noticed that the guide posts were flexing in. And it was enough so that it made it incredibly difficult to raise and lower the lift. It also created a bow in the plate, and I felt like I was going to break the crank or maybe strip something out if I kept going. So as a last ditch effort, I just went ahead and purchased the DeWalt 618 router, which is the larger one with the higher horsepower like the 616, but it does have the variable speed option with it. So I installed it and it worked for the most part. The guidepost still kind of pulled in a little bit and it was a little hard to crank up and down, but nothing compared to the other two routers, the 611 and the 616, which doesn't really make sense because on paper the 616 and the 618 DeWalt routers have the same body. They're the same size. So it is still a little bit rough raising and lowering the lift itself, but I think I can look past that because, I mean, come on. Look at that. Look at that.
So because the tensioning housing in the JessEm lift works independently from the guidepost, we haven't had, nor would we expect to have in the future, the same issue that we had with the other lift. The JessEm lift is an easy one-hand operation. The Rockler Router Lift was so resistant that we didn't feel comfortable using just one hand.
So here's how these two compare side by side and our thoughts on each. So the plate size, I don't think really matters. It could matter, I guess, if you were buying the lift for a specific tabletop already, but since we built both these tabletops around the routers, it really didn't matter.
Ring materials. So I personally like the aluminum, but really it doesn't matter.
So the ring change, it could matter if you're doing a lot of bit changes, but as you can see side by side here in these two videos, it's not that much difference in time. And for us, it just really didn't make a difference. However, I do love that button.
Tensioning mechanism and ease of use, hands down, the JessEm is better.
So for the price point on these two, clearly the numbers just speak for themselves. You get a lot more for about $90 less. And it's actually more than $90 less if you have to pay shipping with this one.
If we had to do it all over again, we would definitely go with the JessEm router over the Rockler. However, we do like the look and we do like the aluminum rings and the ring release feature.
And JessEm, if you're listening, the button. In the comments, let us know your opinion, what you think, and we'll see you in this next video.